remove this vehicle right here. Not supposed to be here. This is a fenced-in parking area.
I believe I had a car towed behind Sugarlands.
Yes, they requested that to be removed.
Dang.
Welcome back to Tow Talk, guys. Little tow talk we've got going on here. Thought we'd share with you guys. If you guys have ever been behind a dump truck and you see those stickers on the back, we're not close enough to probably read this one, but I'm sure you've seen them. The ones that say "Stay back 200 feet, not responsible for broken windshields." We always giggle about that. Is that like the polite way to say, "I don't have any insurance. I'm not covering your car"?
Or my insurance won't cover your car.
My insurance won't cover your car. Stay back 200 feet. We need stickers like that for like all of our vehicles, right? My insurance is not covering you, so stay back.
It's your fault for following too closely.
Yeah, I don't know. Thought we'd share that with you guys because it's been an ongoing thing. We'd gotten a phone call yesterday from one of our customers that we'd towed in. They'd got hit by someone that was driving a rental car, and we still have her truck there on a lot, and it's been like a month and a half, and I called for an update yesterday, and she told me that the insurance company told her that they had insignificant funds. They couldn't hi Alex, they couldn't cover her car because insignificant funds. Actually, it was a 3-car wreck, and the insurance company told her that the first car, they were going to cover the other car because it was more expensive, and then by the time it covered the newer, more expensive car, there was no money left for her older, less expensive car. Tell me how that works. That's kind of crazy. So it's just one of those reminders when I saw that sticker up there. I'm like, I guess the world needs one of those stickers. My insurance is not going to cover your car, and you're out of luck. So.
But how? So that sticker means nothing, actually. It means nothing. If you follow and you are right on his tail and something falls out of his truck, it's his fault. It's his fault.
Yeah.
Don't let that sticker absolve them of responsibility, because it does not.
You're responsible for your load and
yes,
the securing of your load. So I don't know, those stickers they always make us giggle every time we see one, and you know, like I said, we've got this ongoing battle here with this poor gal that got ran over by somebody else. And you know, comment down below. We'd love to hear from you on this stuff. You know, what has been your experience on this? And insurance companies are just becoming more and more difficult to deal with. You know, you guys are paying those premiums every month, and they should be there to help you, but it's oftentimes not the case. So anyway, it's a tow truck rant. We're almost back here at the lot, so yeah, stick around, stay tuned.
Getting ready to get hung up.
He's definitely getting ready to get hung up. Get her down in there. Ease it on down in there. Anyway, guys, another thing that I wanted to add to that, the stay back 200 feet situation, we were also talking about this earlier because we had this ginormous F350 box truck with a push bumper and winch and work boxes, and I mean, it was
ladders and all kinds of stuff.
It was the craziest thing. You know, we do a good job, but we try to do our best at securing these loads, but it never fails. I'll go to round a corner and I'll look in my mirror and I'm like, holy cow, there was a car behind us, and I didn't see it until we started to round a corner there a little bit. They were that close to me. You know, it's always surprising that the risk that people will take on either pulling out in front of us while we've got a load. We've got lights going. You can clearly see it seems like the bigger the truck, the more they want to pull out in front of you or ride. If something was to happen, and like I said, we do our very best on trying to make sure that is not the case. But if something happens, something comes off the bed, if you're dead, you can't sue anybody. So
I mean, it's definitely our responsibility to make sure the stuff is tight on the bed and secured and everything. But if something does fall off, it will be our fault that you're injured.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're so anyway, just something else to keep in mind about that 200-foot rule. It is very nice to make sure that that happens, although that sticker is funny and means absolutely nothing. But do give your big trucks room, guys. Make sure they can see you. They know that you're behind them and you're not. Like that person earlier today, I swear to you, they could have been touching the stinger on my tow truck, the rear wheel lift, that I could not see them until I turned the corner. That's how close they were. So it's scary when it comes to that stuff, because we want to be safe. We don't want to hurt somebody, or things come off. We try our best to make sure everything's secured, but it's just one of those things that we drive around and it makes us go,
And then when someone does pull out in front of you and you got to slam on your brakes, the person behind you doesn't have time to react.
Yeah, and like I said, that wheel lift is very much so not forgiving. If you hit that wheel lift, it's going to be above the hood. But anyway, yeah, thought I'd share that with you guys too. We're backing into the shop here, and yeah, stay tuned. Welcome back. Another somebody in the ditch.
Turn right, then. Turn right.
This is a bad turn right here. You guys cut this one sharp from Glades to Profit.
Yeah, we pulled several people out of that ditch, I believe.
Kind of crazy. Up here on the right is where I get everybody.
Yeah, I see people.
Turn right onto Glory Ridge Way, then you will arrive at your destination.
Oh, yeah, it's up there. The usual.
If you want me to, I'll just pull up, turn sideways, block that road.
Okay.
He's just off in the ditch.
Okay. Yeah, all we'll do.
Right. You can see his scraping marks where he went off back here further. Looks like he's got a carload. Plug in pretty good on the front. Yeah, this ditch is about 3 feet deep. Big enough to swallow a Nissan Armada.
Okay, guys. Sorry we didn't microphone up on that one, but I mean, you're just watching the initial pull and hopefully not needing to listen to me. But golly, some of these are just really tough. You know, I try my very best not to let any cables or chains or hooks or anything like that touch anybody's, you know, cars. You don't need any extra scratches or anything like that. You know, we're car people and stuff like that really bothers me. So that one proved to be quite tough on keeping things off of paint. It really just depends on the angle and, you know, the size of the vehicle. Some of these bigger vehicles with more suspension travel, you got to lift them a lot higher to be able to get wheels back up on the road. They're not like a rigid platform like a small car, so sometimes they give you a little grief. But we pulled and tugged on that one just a couple inches at a time, and we're able to high pull, 2-line, low pull. We had to change things up a little bit as we went along, but we got it up there without any cables touching the paint. And
It was so close, that front bumper was so close to the boom when at the end, the last pull is like, I pulled it as close as I could get it. But it's like, I was terrified that it was going to lurch forward and just smack right into the boom.
Yeah, we had, it was crazy. You try to set the truck up just as close as you possibly can to make everything easy, but you got to try to visualize what it's going to look like when that car's up there with you, and that one had no room to spare. The back tire just barely made it up onto the roadway, and normally that I can kind of get away from that by pulling the back more, and it'll spin it around and it'll get the front end away from my truck. But with that one, like I said, I was worried that I was going to get into that big fender flare. And
also the road was a straight down. There was no like any sort of slope or anything to the edge of that road. It was straight down, and the pavement was about a foot thick, and then it was just ditch, and the ditch was about 3 feet thick.
And those are the ones that are scary, because those are the ones that pop tires and pull wheels off and things like that, because you're pulling it up against that straight up and down thing. So high pull is very valuable there, and we got it done. Anyway, I've been there multiple times. I couldn't tell you how many times and how many cars I pulled out of that.
So were you extra cautious because they all stayed in the car?
Yeah, that too. It's, you know, a lot of people they're cold or stubborn, and you try to judge it by the hazards of things. And, you know, had that have been something where it was off the side of the mountain on the other side, of course,
yeah,
that wouldn't have been an option. But it was just a ditch, and, you know, I felt safer for them to be in there than on the side of the road, because there was no room to work on the side of the road either. But anyway, got them out of there. It is after the new year, but the new year party seems to still be lingering around. Lots of folks still having a great time. Hope everybody's safe from the storms. We've had a lot of nasty weather, and so far we've been pretty good here. Just colder temps and not really a whole lot of other things. But anyway, we got to go do some paperwork and get back to work. So see you on the next one.
Looks like a dealer tags. I see there's nobody in the Walgreens customer parking. Which is clearly signed. We've been asked to remove this vehicle right here. This Wagoneer. Not supposed to be here. This is a fenced-in parking area for employees of a... There's a sign there. Oh, look, they've got an Ober Gatlinburg Pass. Nice. Ober Mountain. Sorry, not Ober Gatlinburg anymore. Fleet. So, maybe a rental, possibly. Ooh. turn this back on later. Okay, there's a sign there. No trespassing private lot. And there's a sign over here too.
Yeah, if y'all ever need anything from us, just let us know.
Okay. Got it up on Dollies once I got out from around that corner. Cleared the fence. Yeah. Whatever that tree is, went right up my nose.
Did you get a tree lobotomy?
I swear my nose is bleeding. How that limb came in my window as I was driving by and went up my nose is beyond me. But it did. And I'm out of breath because, my God, that thing's heavy.
There's cars everywhere.
If you've ever had to put dollies on going uphill, you lose all your momentum. The downhill one's pretty easy.
You're good over here.
But the uphill one, especially when you're trying to lift a Grand Wagoneer with a pole.
The front end of one.
Anyway, off to the lot. Stick around, stay tuned.
Everything auto.
Hey, my name's, I believe I had a car code behind Sugarlands.
Okay, what kind of car was it?
Black Grand Wagoneer.
Yes, they requested that to be removed.
Okay, so what's the process on?
Okay, as long as you are the registered owner, your ID has to match the registration. I can release it.
Rental car.
Okay, you'll have to call the rental company, and I need a hold harmless from them to release it back to you. And the cost is, and it has to be cash.
Dang. Okay. Let me call the rental company. How do they get it to you?
They can email it to us. So whenever you call them and get them to agree to send it, just give me a call back and I'll give you the email address, okay?
Okay.
Right.
I can just write it down now.
Okay, it's everything autos.
It's what?
Everything autos
Okay.
with an S on the end, so everything autos at yahoo.com.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Hello?
Hey, this is Jeff, Everything Auto. I missed your call there on the Wagoneer.
Yeah. So I talked to somebody. They said I need the rental company to send some type of form, but I can't get in touch with them. I called Enterprise, and they have been sending me to the Knoxville airport, and no one's answering. It's just ringing.
Okay. Yeah, I just need that form that says that it's okay to release the vehicle back to you.
I don't know how to get that. There, like I said, I've been calling for 30, 45 minutes. Nobody's answering.
Okay. Well, I mean, just get back with us whenever you can get that form, and we can get somebody back over here to get you to the vehicle.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What's the form called?
It's a hold harmless.
Hold harmless.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye. Everything Auto.
Hey man, this is. I had a Grand Wagoneer towed earlier.
Yes, sir.
So I just got off the phone with Enterprise. That's who I rented from, and they said that I could pick up the car if I paid the fee, and then once that happens, they would send an email saying that whatever y'all need, whatever form. But they're already gone at 5 o'clock, so I can't do it until the morning.
Okay. Yeah. If you just want to give us a call at some point in time there in the morning, and we'll go from there.
Okay. What time are y'all open?
We're just kind of out and about on the tow truck, so I just asked, just give me a call and let me know, give me a heads up before you're headed that way. It's usually pretty hectic in the mornings.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
So you're here for the
Yeah.
for the Jeep or
Yes,
the
sir.
Wagoneer? Hopefully they sent you some.
Well, they said to call when I get here.
Okay. Okay.
They said I could pay for it and then call them and they would send over
the
something.
stuff. Okay.
Yeah. You want me to give them a shout now?
Yeah, if you want to. Yeah, give me just a second. I'll get the receipt and I'll get the vehicle out here for you.
Okay.
Yes, please. All right, guys. The old Wagoneer. Everything's a little crispy this morning. About 25 degrees.
Everythingautos.com.
It's
at yahoo.com.
Everythingautos at yahoo.com. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. All right. Bye. Okay. So that was the guy at Seaverville Enterprise.
Okay.
They have to reach out to their risk department.
Okay.
And they will send the email over saying
that they've got it.
Yeah.
Okay. And your name is on the rental agreement too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if I could just match name with that as well, I think we'll be good.
How much are you? Okay.
Everything auto. Okay, sure. Yeah, it was just a private property. They called for the removal over in I think it's the Walgreens employee parking lot. Okay. Sure, yeah, no problem. Well, I thank you for reaching out, and yeah, I'll check a few things on this end, and we'll wait for that email. Yeah, everything auto with an S at yahoo.com.
Alright, keeping that out.
Okay, perfect. All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Bye-bye. Yeah, he's got that sent over. Like I said, as long as your ID matches that agreement, do you have the physical agreement?
I don't know. Let me check in I don't remember getting any paperwork. I mean, I have like email.
If you got on your phone, that'll work.
Like
yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, this is email just saying it was
confirmed.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. You have to
Okay.
just take a peek at your driver's license to make sure it's and then he's going to send the rest of that paperwork on over, so there's no sense in. Perfect. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Yeah, you guys have a good one, okay?
All right. Thank you.
All right, guys. I was on the phone with our local enterprise office there, and they did get that email sent over. I was able to confirm that as well while we're standing there. But it's kind of tough, guys. Sometimes they don't have the paperwork with them to prove that it is theirs, or they're supposed to have it. That's kind of the complications for last night, and he couldn't satisfy that last night. But we're here at 9 o'clock the next day, and he's he's got some paperwork with him and show. So that's very important, guys. Those emails that they send, or the paperwork that's supposed to be with the car, you gotta have that, because I have no way of knowing that you're supposed to have that rental car, and it gets a little crazy. And we've done a few hold harmless forms, and it's always good practice to have those for the rental car companies. It might be something pushing forward that we might just start requiring, and those forms just release us from any liability. I don't think you guys heard the phone call from the Enterprise office there while I was on the phone, but he's wanting to confirm it, so that's, the vehicle's okay, and it was just illegally parked. It wasn't crashed or damaged in any way, or so, it's just the questions like that we want to make sure that, we're doing the right thing and getting our butts covered too. So that hold harmless form just releases us from liability. So like I said, pushing forward, it might be something that we might start requiring on rental car releases, just in case. And it just depends on the situation. If we know for sure, we've got video evidence that there's no damage and we know where we took it from, and we do all of those things in conjunction with. But in today's world, you can never be too safe, and that's what we try to do. But anyway, don't know why he was parked there. It looked like he had a ski lift pass, so I'm guessing they parked there and rode the ski lift up and thought that they'd save a few bucks on parking. Didn't really get any explanation. And you guys know me, sometimes I'll pry and poke the bear, and sometimes I'll just let it go. And well, in 25-degree weather, I'm probably just going to let it go. So stick around, stay tuned.